Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave. In absolute ignorance, there is no problem. In absolute wisdom, there is no problem. When we are neither wise nor otherwise, but we think ourselves to be wise, then all the problems begin. Like in deep sleep, we are utterly ignorant. So there is no problem. The wise men who are awake, but their experience is like deep sleep, so for the wise people also there is no problem. The problem is for people like us who fall in the category of Arjun. You all know the story of Bhagavad Gita. When Bhagavan Krishna explained a particular situation which doesn't come in Bhagavad Gita book, but before Bhagavad Gita begins, in the earlier chapter, this topic comes. Sanjay goes to the camp of the Pandavas and tries to confuse them that don't fight this war, it is destroying our own family. And so many things are told. And as a result, there is bound to be confusion. So when this confusion was being created, Bhagavan Krishna was along with Pandavas and he told Sanjay, I think what you said is fine, but you can go now. The war will happen. Sanjay goes. Then these 5 people, eldest Yudhishthir, Bhima, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev. Now out of these 5 people, what happens? Yudhishthir was very clear, therefore no confusion about war. Bhim was very committed, therefore no confusion about war. The younger 2 twins, they were very simple. Just follow the leader and don't think. If you can recognize the importance of this, never be a leader, always be a follower. So you don't have to think. Lesser you think, happier you are. See, like I go to so many places. Some people take care of my clothes, I don't have to worry. So I am very happy. Somebody cooks for me, I don't have to worry about my food, I am very happy. Go one step further. Somebody thinks about you, you don't have to worry, relax. Nakul Sahadev fell in the 3rd category. They knew whatever eldest brother is doing is perfectly okay, there is nothing to worry, we just follow him. But when Arjuna's point came, Arjuna was interacting to those thoughts which were not required, and therefore the confusion came. Similarly, in our life, only ignorance is not a problem. When ignorance is followed by projection, imagination, then the problems begin. This is what is the topic now in Vivek Chudamani called as Adhyasa. Adhyasa is misapprehension of that which was wrongly apprehended. When we know the post as a post, then there is no problem. When we know the post as a ghost, then there is a problem. When we know the snake as a snake, then there is no problem. One thought will come here. Very beautiful thought. One brahmachari staying in the ashram all the time listening to this example of snake and rope, rope and snake, snake and rope. And one day he has to go somewhere, so he was packing his baggage and he wanted to tie down the bag with a rope. So he saw there was a snake. He said, how there can be a snake? It must be a rope. And he took the snake as a rope and then the fun started. See? So adhyas means misapprehension. So अत्रानात्मन्यमतिमतिर्बन्ध एषोस्य पुंसः प्राज्ञो ज्ञानात् जनन मरण क्लेश संपात हेतु ये नैवायं वपुरिदमसत्ति सत्यमित्यात्मबुद्ध्यां पुष्यत्युक्षति अवति विषयैस्तन्तुभिः कोशकृद्वद. The bondage of the self is none other than identification with the not self as I am this. See? Now just take. Very simple. We all have to agree, there is no option, that the body is not created by us, the body doesn't listen to us. See? On what ground we say I am the body? And all the problems of life begin from this original error. See friends, if this is corrected, all the problems stand cancelled. That is why many people, when they listen to Vedanta, they get totally shattered. Because in the yoga, when you have come here, you must have heard one thing, Sharira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. Body is the one by which we follow the path, and therefore we should take care of the body, give bath and powder and snow and whole life live as a body, for the body, on the body. See? And here the first step itself, it is a big hit. Therefore, here, atra anatmani aham iti matihi. In this not self, the body, when we take this body as I, this is what is called as bandhaha eshonsya pumsaha. This is the bondage. Now, this bondage that we are all having, now tell me where from it has come. See? Can we prove it? What is the logic? So what is happening? Logically, we are rejecting that the body I cannot be. But practically, we are living as the body. See? Therefore, atra anatmani aham iti matir bandha eshosya pumsaha praptaha ajnanat. And now where from this has come? Ajnanat. Again I am telling you, ajnan does not mean ignorance, does not mean absence of knowledge. See? Ajnan means incomplete knowledge. What is incomplete knowledge and what is complete knowledge? In our own body, let us take all the corners and every part, they are separate from each other. Hands are not the legs, legs are not the nose, nose is not the head, head is not the back, back is not the thigh. They are separate. But do we have this kind of notion that the tongue I am, but the back I am not? Let it have scratching, who cares? No. So differences are there, differences are recognized, but we don't have that experience that they are separate from me. So what we are having, the whole thing is me. Now go extend further. Now what is our present condition? This body I am. This body I am not. Feminine body. I am a man. From here, all the problems begin. Can it happen? The mind will say, I am eyes, not the ears. No. Can the mind say, I am the eyes, not the legs? No. Just imagine if it happens. Eyes tell you are walking, eyes tell that there is a ditch, be careful. Legs say, I don't listen to you. See what happens? One. Second thing, when the same mind is functioning through all the sense organs, there is no competition and jealousy among them. Get this point, these are very basic things. Like, every time the eyes are only seeing, I am so unlucky, I have to simply see the nice food, nice chutney, beautiful pickles, and I can't eat, only the tongue is eating. So when I heard this complaint, I said, okay, don't worry. So I took the chutney with lot of chilies and told the eyes, now you taste. Doesn't happen. See, because although the organs of action and perception are many, but through them, one is expressing this knowledge is there. Now extend further. One consciousness expressing through all the bodies. See? Mind expressing through all the senses. Differences are on account of the gadgets. One consciousness expressing through different bodies. Masculine body, dadi will come. A cow, milk will come. A sheep, the wool will come. A cobra, the poison will come. But because of that, can we say that cobra is supported by a poisonous consciousness and the sheep is supported by the woolly consciousness? No. See, praptaha ajnanat. This is our ignorance. And in deep sleep, when we are not identified with our body, all differences disappear. I remember many years before, 30, 40, 50 years before, when we used to travel in India, I used to travel in the lowest class, no money. So we used to go in the rush. And when you go there, very much heat and a rush and a long journey. So when you get inside, fighting start. This is my seat, that is your seat, no, like that. After some time, the train starts. Lallabi, cut. Then people in India, they leave for eating. So they will be opening their containers. And when the containers are opened and stomach is filled, then containers close and slowly the sleep comes. And when the sleep comes, my feet go in her lap, she has no objection. And her hand goes in my pocket, I have no objection. See, all the differences disappear. So what is that which is creating the differences? The body identification? Nay. Only this body I am. If we get identified with all the bodies, all the problems will disappear. See? And that love is called as pure love. Now how this is possible? When a mother sees a child, the mother looks at the child as the extension of her own being. So although the bodies are different, the age is different, the gender is different, yet the mother sees herself reflected in that child. See, friends. So, ajnana, the incomplete knowledge that only this body I am and other bodies I am not, this is the cause of all the bondage in life. See, friends. Therefore, praptaha ajnana janana marana klesha sampata hetuhu. And therefore, thereafter, the birth and the death and miseries, all the problems are born out of this basic error. See, friends. So when there is some problem in somebody's body, so we go and talk to them. Come on, this is body, it happens, don't worry, it's okay, never mind. But when the same thing happens to us, then it becomes a big issue. In Bhagavad Mahapuran, one story comes. There was a demon called as Hiranyaksha. He was killed by the Lord by taking the avatar of a pig, swine. And when that demon was killed, his wife became very miserable and she was crying. So her brother-in-law, the demon's brother, Hiranyakashipu, he came and he consoled his sister-in-law. Look here, anything that is born is bound to be dead and the body is perishable. Therefore, this has to happen one day or the other. Now take it in the right spirit. And when this is told, she comes out of her delusion and is consoled. But now, the problem begins for this Hiranyakashipu. Oh God, that means I am also going to die. No, I don't want to die. And then he does tapasya. And lot of tapasya done, the Lord is propitiated and tells, I don't want to die. I want to live as a body. The Lord says it is not possible. Okay, I should not die in the water, I should not die in the air, I should not die by any instrument of killing, I should not be killed by the animals, I should not be killed by the human beings. All impossible things he asks. Lord says Tathastu. And then he is killed by Narsimha. 50% animal and 50% human being. And not by any Shastra, but only by the nails he is torn and killed. So when he tells others, we have wisdom. But when it comes to applying ourselves, we are completely gone. This is called as Asura Vedanta. Asura Vedanta means that Vedanta which is only at the lip level. We can call it as a lipstick Vedanta. It is no more going inside our heart. And therefore, because of this, Yena eva ayam vapuhu idam asati sati iti atma buddhya. So this body which is not real is taken to be me the real. This is how the khichadi happens, Khichadi, the hodgepodge. Absolute consciousness is never destroyed. Body is definitely destroyed. When these two things come together, an illusion comes. The body is immortal. See, some qualities of the body and some qualities of the pure consciousness, they are mixed together and an impossible thing is created. See, and this is how the delusion begins, and after that pushyati, akshati, avati. Then the whole life is spent only for taking care of the body, cleaning it properly, protecting it, and sustenance. And like this, one is lost in the cocoon of a silkworm. What the silkworm does? Creates a cocoon of threads, and that itself kills him. Nobody creates cocoon for the silkworm. In the same manner, we are all lost in our own cocoon of thoughts. We only imagine, I am most unfortunate. Nobody talks to me. I am really feeling very bad. See? It is our own creation. Nobody is responsible for our miseries. Take this as a principle. And once you take this as a principle, the delusion will go away. So, this misapprehension, the wrong understanding about our identity is the cause of this whole mess that we are in. Atasmin tad buddhi prabhavati vimudhasya tamasa viveka bhavadvai spurati bhujage rajjudhishana tato nartavrato nipatati samadhaturadigaha tato yo sadgraha sahi bhavati bandha shrunu sakhe. My dear friend, identification with the body itself is the bondage. Please listen with all love the teacher is telling. What is that? Atasmin tad buddhi. Tat means that. Atat means not that. So the body is not the reality, but in the body, the reality is recognized that I am the body and the body is real. And prabhavati vimudhasya tamasa. Where from it comes? When we are overpowered by the tamoguna. And when we are overpowered by the tamoguna, then we are deluded. And a deluded person is more genius in foolishness than the wise man. So vimudhasya tamasa viveka abhavadvai spurati bhujage rajjudishana. Why this happens? Because one is not able to discriminate between the self and the not self. Now the last few sessions we have seen what is the not self, and also we have seen what is the self. Now what is our spiritual practice in Vedanta is discriminate. All that is known is inert and the knower is conscious. This stand I know, so I am the knower, the consciousness, the stand inert. This is the book. I know book is inert, I the knower is consciousness. This is the camera. Camera is known object of knowledge, therefore inert, I am the knower, the consciousness. I know you all, the inert, and I am the consciousness. So maybe we also can say like that. Say, you are the inert, no. Why? Because what you think and what you see, that I am not. See, when we recognize this principle, then all the problems dissolve. Therefore, if the problems are born out of wrong notion, only one way we have to correct that notion. See? And notion correction is possible only when we are cool, not agitated. Otherwise, a disturbed person cannot achieve anything in life. I'll tell you an example. One day, this recording failed. So, audio recording was there. So, when I went and then slept and all that, my whole sleep was working on this. How do we restore this? By banging the camera? Or by breaking the laptop? No. So when I was sleeping, in the sleep I got, hey, it can be done this way. I can make a slideshow and put behind instead of the music, the lecture. So you can see also something and hear also, and it is restored. And when it was done, oh, the joy of heavens. See? Otherwise we only get excited. I don't know what happened. In the same manner, when we become disturbed in meditation, instead of biting the teeth or changing the posture 20 times, find out who is that who is disturbed. Then you will come to know, I as a husband, I as a wife, I as a friend, I as an enemy, I as a rich, I as a poor, that somebody is disturbed. That very moment, just with a great love tell, Mr. Husband, please go with the wife, okay? Leave me for some time. You cannot be miserable. It is only the question of right understanding. Therefore, Viveka bhavadvai spurati bhujage rajjudishana. Like, in absence of the discrimination, the rope is mistaken as the snake. And thereafter, tataha anartha vrataha. So when we are mistaken the snake as the rope, evening time when there is no proper light, there are, your hose pipes. And if somebody doesn't know, and he goes, and he steps on that, hose pipe being round and gravels loose below, so it will move. And if it has moved, I think there is a snake and a snake has bitten me. See? So one person came like this, see, I think the snake has bitten me. What should I do? I said, let us go and perform the rites of the snake. The snake must have died because it has beaten you. Okay? Let us go. No, you are making fun of me. And we go with the torch to see the snake. Now where the snake has gone. See, friends. Appearance appears but does not exist. In the same manner, this miserable I am very disturbed, I am very miserable, I am very hurt. Where is show that? It is just an image. It is not reality. When you delete the data from your laptop, where does it fall? Do you have the dustbin there? Whenever you delete the data, put in the dustbin. No. Where it goes? It is not. It is just an appearance. Because something is useful, that does not mean it is real. See? North, east, west, south, they are useful. But are they real? Reality is the space, not the direction. Similarly, the longitudes and latitudes on the globe, are they real? I used to have these funny problems during childhood. how they must have drawn these lines on the globe, And I used to get lost in that. I think, yes, I know. They must have taken a helicopter and started from the South Pole and gone to the North Pole and with a big gun, spray gun, and then painting it like that. And I used to feel so happy. I discovered. But again, sometime, how it will happen? Because when this fellow is going in the helicopter, the earth is moving, then it will become dead like that, No, it can't be like that. Again, I have to get worried. How must they have done, And if they take the helicopter nearer, it will dash the earth and it will fall down. Again, there is a problem. But there is water also. In the water, how these lines will remain? These are all imaginary lines. They are not there. But because they are useful, they are not real. Please understand. Till such time, utility is the foundation of our lifestyle. We have not stepped on the spiritual path. There is no use of spirituality. If we have this notion, suppose, I am Brahman, I come to know. Then what? Nothing. It is not a gain. See, friends. Therefore, here the teacher says, Ataha tataha anartham vrata nipatati samadhaturadhikaha. And once we have mistaken the rope as the snake, thereafter there is no end to the miseries following, and therefore one is befalling calamities one after another. Therefore, yaha asadgraha sahi bhavati bandha shrudu sakhe. Out of sheer love and compassion, the teacher says, therefore, my friend, this is all you have to basically understand. Identification with the body is the cause. And to help us get out of this, Yoga Shastra, Sankhya Shastra, then the Karma Shastra, they tell us that we are the embodied. Then the question comes, who is embodied? Jiva. And we like a dumb take Jiva as the reality. See, you must have studied in mathematics. When some unknown factor has to be decided, how do we start? Take an example. There are 3 pots. In one pot there is say 5 liter of milk, 2% fat. Second pot there are say 3 liter of milk and 3% fat. And third pot 10 liter of milk and 10% fat. And when you mix all the 3 milks together, what will be the average percentage of fat in the composite milk sample? Oh God. Suppose the average milk, the fat percentage is X. And with that you submit your answer book. Will you get marks? You have to establish the value of X, is it not? Exactly the same way. We are not the body, agreed? Then embodied, agreed. What is embodied? Jiva. What is Jiva? Jiva is like X. This value of X is established only in Vedanta. See? Sankhya and Yoga tells that whatever all the good and bad karma we have done in the last life, the together of them, they are responsible in this life, jati and ayu bhogaha. All our karmashaya from the last life, they are responsible for our where we are born, how long we are going to live, and what are the experiences we are going to go through. And thus the jiva is given a status of reality, and then we keep on moving around them. So because of the karma, it is jiva, and because of the jiva, it is the karma. So who is first? First karma has happened, then jiva is born, or first jiva is born without karma, then how will he do karma? Think. Therefore, this identification with the gross body is the only problem, and this has to be sorted out only by one technique and discrimination. We don't have to do anything. Na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage naike amrutatva manashu. Upanishad says, not by karma or any other activity, but only by tyagena, giving up the wrong notions. So correcting our notions about ourselves, about the world, about God and about spiritual practice is the purpose of study of Vedanta. अखंड नित्याद्वय बोध शक्त्या स्फुरन्तमात्मानमनंत वैभवम् समावृणोत्यावृति शक्तिरेषा तमोमयी राहुरिवार्कबिम्बम्. This power of concealment, the power what is called as the avruti shakti, the power of concealment, although supported by this eternal absolute reality, covers the reality, just like example is given, Rahu iva arkabimbam. Now see, when we see in the sky, we say, oh God, the sun is covered by the clouds. The sun, which is covered by the cloud, is it smaller than the cloud? It is so big. It can't be covered by a handful of the cloud. And the clouds are seen by whose light? Even the clouds are seen by the light of the same sun. So how can we say it is covered? But we don't see. Maharaj, the clouds have covered our vision, not the sun. See, if I keep my finger at a distance, I don't cover any one of you. But if I keep the finger at near my eyes, I say, you all are covered by my finger. See, this wrong understanding that the ignorance is covering us, it is not possible. There is nothing like ignorance. There is only non-discrimination. And that discrimination, the moment happens, then all the problems dissolve. Therefore, whether it is the tamoguna concealment, rajoguna activity and sattva-guna knowledge, all of them are supported by the same reality. If our attention is to this substratum, then whatever is superimposed has no influence on our being. And therefore, Samavrunoti avrutti shakti resha tamomayi. This is the part, this is the effect of this tamoguna. Then tiro bhute swatmanyam malatare jo tejo vatipuman ama anatmanam mohat ahamiti shariram kalayati tatak kama krodha prabhuti bhiramum bandhana gunaihi param vikshepakya resha urushaktir vyathayati. Now, on account of this concealment of this immaculate self-effulgent reality, the jiva starts accepting the body as I am this body through delusion. At this time, the terrible power of projection born out of Rajoguna disturbs and torments by desire this person, and one becomes angry, and thus the self is reduced to the status of jiva. Now see, please understand this. If we do not know and stop there, no problem happens. So simple. Anything you perceive in this world, anything, and stop there after perception. Samsara is not born. But what we do? Perception is followed by projection. And that projection creates problem. And the projection is the effect of the Rajoguna. See, take an example, that day also probably I gave you. Woman is created by man. Okay. Then the same woman is seen by the father as daughter, the husband as wife, the son as mother. There are three worlds created. For the father, it is the beloved daughter. For the husband, it is his misfortune. And for the son, it is his loving mother. See? And who is this lady? Who is other than them? When she was not a wife, when she was not a mother, she was still there. See, friends. So it is only the projection. So when one man looks at a girl and if he stops there, there is no problem. But after that, he starts projecting, oh, she is beautiful, she is meant for me. Otherwise, why should she come here? I think it is God's providence. And that very time, some flower or leaf falls on your head. See, God has said yes to me. And then that leaf has fallen and his fool falls in love and thereafter gets hurt. And this is how the samsara begins. See, friends. Therefore, this Rajoguna, after this has happened, projection has happened, thereafter desires are born. See, I have to get married to her. May what happened? See? And if the desire is not fulfilled, then anger comes. If desire is fulfilled, greed comes. There is no end to that, and desire is such a fire which cannot be put off. Our attempt to put off the fire of desire is like trying to put off the fire by putting ghee into a fire. It can never. Fulfilling desire is not the way to get out of the desire. We have to educate and grow wise and thereafter grow out of the desires. And this is what we all have done. See, as a child, we were so much attracted towards the toys. And when we are grown up, are we not out of those toys? In the same manner, when a wise man lives in this world, he has gone through all the turmoils. And through his experiences, he has learned. He got the right wisdom. And then he came to know that all the problems have their root in body identification. So we have to cut this. And this is what is achieved by everyone. Some people go to sleep. Some people take drinks. Some people take drugs. What is achieved? Only body disidentification, nothing else. See? Because when these narcotics are taken, the intellect, the mind is dull and it is no more able to identify with anything, forget about the body, and then one gets the kick of it. Aha! Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam. See, friends. Therefore, all the spiritual practice is this. So, first of all, to get start with it, we have to reduce our desires, our involvement in the world. When the Rajoguna, the Vikshepa Shakti, the projection is reduced, then we can take care of the concealment. Then we can inquire. An agitated person cannot inquire about the truth. He is extremely disturbed. See? So when we are at peace with ourselves and with the world, then we can take up the inquiry. Therefore, Rajoguna must come down. Till the Rajoguna comes down, we will be, even you must have seen people when they sit for meditation, there also they will be breaking the joints. Now, who told you to do that? Because the Rajoguna doesn't allow you to be cool. See? Or else in one asana we cannot sit for 1 hour. In 1 hour, our condition, if you have gone to India, you must have seen how they make the idli. Have you seen? There is a big container and in that there is a very big, stone with a machine. And it goes on moving like this, and the whole thing is done. In the same manner, our meditation is like that, and slowly, when you put the chilies below, chutney is ready. How much unsteady. This is one of the very simple spiritual practice. Remain in one posture, but one posture doesn't mean too tense, No, relax. 100% relax. Then we get out of the body identification and we are able to contemplate. So, Now, after this is done, the teacher continues, Mahamoha graha grasana galitatma vagamano dhiyo nanavastha swayam abhinayantat gunataya apare samsare vishaya vishapure jalanidho nimajjonmajjayam bhramati gumati kutsitagati. Now this deluded jiva going through all kinds of lower forms of life, drowning again and again in the infinite ocean of transmigration, filled with objects like poisons and caught by the shark of terrible delusion, leading to the loss of self-identification, becomes as if one with a various modification of the intellect and going through the various states of experiences of the intellect as an actor in a drama, and thus go through many lives. Now see, what is meant is this. When I feel I am miserable, what exactly happens? Identification with the misery. In Panchadashi, one story comes. There was a man, he was told by some miscreant that your son met with a terrible accident. This is what I got a news. The moment this is said, that father of that son becomes extremely disturbed and miserable. So people ask, hey, what happened? I heard my son has met with a terrible accident. I hope everything is fine. Why don't you call him? Oh, yes, we can do that. I forgot about it. So you call him. And when you call, the timing in India and USA are different. When there is a day, it's a night. When night is a day. So this father calls at daytime. How are you, my dear son? And the son bombards. Dad, how many times I told you don't call at night? I am sleeping. You just don't understand. So where all the miseries has gone? Oh, thank God, So he scolded you, thank God for that. No, he is still alive. So when he was not dead, only somebody played a mischief, but that news was enough to completely paralyze the person. The other example, when something really bad happens and we don't know about it, we are enjoying the party and somebody is already dead or suffering, but we don't know. Means whatever is the quality of our mind, so is the quality of our life. See, friends, therefore it is so important to understand that the mind takes the identification with the body, start behaving as a body, then starts getting identified with the joy and sorrows, become joyful and sorrowful, and becomes identified with the karma and become the owner of the karma. And this is how from one life to another life it goes on moving, and there is no end to this transmigration. Brahmati kumati kutsitagati. This is how the life is continued again and again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. 100 times we are born and die, and there is no end to this. Bhanuprabha sanjarita bhrapangti bhanumti rodhaya vijrumbate yatha atmodita hankrutinatma tattvam tatha tirodhaya vijrumbate swayam. Like the clouds are formed in the sky because of the heat and sun rays, and then those clouds cover the sun. In the same manner, this ahankar born out of this absolute reality is covered by this ahankar. See, friends, a dead person doesn't have ahankar. Only a live person has. And what is that ahankar? Atasmin tat buddhi. Misidentification with the gross body, that this body I am. And thereafter all the problems of life begin. Therefore, these tamoguna supported by rajoguna create havoc, and that impossible is born, called as the jiva. See? Be very attentive. Every bulb is an individuality. Light in the bulb is a common factor. Electrical energy expresses through all the bulbs in the whole universe as light. Now there are two bulbs, this one and that bulb. The light is on me. Can we differentiate which light is of which bulb? Light is the same. So, individual bulbs are many, individualities are many. But light is one. Similarly, individually we are many, but life is one. See? Therefore, the pangs of hunger for a human being, pangs of hunger for a sheep, pangs of hunger for a cobra, they are the same. And so also the satiation of hunger is also the same. See, friends. So where is the problem? When we forget the expression of the divinity as life and mistake the individuality as the reality, from there onward the problem begins. So what is all the spiritual practice? Come out of the individuality and live as life. So when I live through the body, the quality of my life will be different. But when I live as the body, the quality of my life will be different. And where from it has come? It has come from the same absolute conscious blissful principle. This ahankar is born, and then identification, and the truth is hidden behind this foolishness. Now continuing further, the power of concealment and projection, how does it work? कवलित दिननाथे दुर्दिने सांद्र मेघैः व्यथयति हिमझंझा वायुरुग्रो यथैतान् अविरत तमसात्मन्यावृते मूढबुद्धिं क्षपयति बहुदुःखैस्तीव्र विक्षेप शक्तिः. Just as on a day with bad weather, when the sun is covered by the clouds, the terrible cold winds make everyone miserable. Similarly, the intellect under the spell of tamoguna continuously further torments this deluded person by many miseries through the power of projection. See? So, miseries are only born out of the imagination and projection. See? What our enemy cannot think about us, our mind thinks about us. Suppose somebody told you, I'll reach your place by about say 8 o'clock, okay? At night. Good, please come. We'll be waiting for you for dinner. 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11, no phone call. You call, no phone is answered, and then your mind starts thinking, I think that car must have run over by 18-wheeler, big container vehicle, and that person must have been made into a chutney, and all the vultures must be enjoying that. Oh God, what happened? I don't know. And that time the very train. Then are we happy? We are angry. Where did it go? Why did you ring? Where this all is happening? Only in the mind. See, friends. We have to train our mind. Let the mind not react. See, this is the power of projection. And here the example is given, like on a bad weather day, when everything is already cold and gloomy, and then the terrible winds start blowing, and your roof has gone, you don't have sufficient thing to do, and all the miseries come together. In the same manner, this Vikshepa Shakti, the power of projection and the power of concealment together make our life the most miserable one. एताभ्याम एव शक्तिभ्याम बंधः पुंसा समागतः याभ्याम विमोहितो देहम मत्वात्मानं भ्रमत्ययम्. So it is because of these two powers, power of concealment born out of tamoguna and the power of projection born out of rajoguna. Because of that, one has mistaken oneself to be the body, and thereafter this embodied soul starts thinking that he is a jiva and goes on from one life to another life, and there is no end to it. See, it is so simple, friends. This is all only what we take ourselves to be. If I take myself to be a miserable one, miseries will come one after another. If I consider myself to be lucky one, luck will come one after another. And if I recognize myself to be the jiva, then birth and death and the cycle of birth and death will continue. And when I recognize myself to be the absolute non-dual, one conscious, blissful reality, then none of these things is my lot. In Kathopanishad, the student is Nachiket. He asked the question to his guru. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, anyatra asmat kruta krutat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha yattat pashyasi tadvada. O Lord, kindly tell me that which is beyond dharma and adharma. Enough of it, this thing. You should be good to others, you should do good to others. Enough. I am not interested in that. Anyatra asmat kruta krutat. Don't try to befool me being in cause and effect. Cause and effect is an illusion. See? Don't try to tell me that. Okay. And anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha. And don't also tell me, because of your last life's bad karma, you are suffering, and in the next life you will be born as a donkey. I don't want that. I want the truth now and here. Yattat pashyasi tadvada. Truth is never revealed posthumous. It is now or never. It is here or nowhere. See, friends, that is why the highest spiritual practice is remaining in utter present. When we remain in utter present, mind is dissolved in consciousness. And when the mind gets dissolved in consciousness, other than the blissful expression, nothing can come. Therefore, wise men are never miserable. Because they are no more living as the mind, they are no more living as a body, they are living as consciousness, although functioning through the body. Therefore, these two aspects, concealment and projection, if we do not know something, stop there. But we don't stop the habit. We project. Do you know her? I don't know her. Who is she? But seems to be a good girl or seems to be a bad girl. Now, seems to be good and bad has come from where? From our training. In Mahabharata, one story comes. Bhagavan Krishna tells Duryodhana, the wicked person, please go and find out one good person, I want to give him something. So Duryodhana goes and comes back and he tells, I could not find a single good person. And then Bhagavan Krishna tells Yudhishthira, who is the best among all, he tells him, please go and find out a bad person, I want to punish him. He goes back and comes and says, I could not find out a single bad person. See, friends, in this world, what is, we don't see. We decide what we want to see. The decision of what we want to see is the projection of the mind. Therefore, many times you must have come across people say that, I think he doesn't love me. It is your mind's projection. See, the teacher has neither love nor hatred for anybody. But we have that imagination that the teacher is favoring somebody and not liking me. Blah, blah, blah. Get out of this clutch of the mind, because of which the truth is hidden. Now, after having told this, now what was the bondage was asked. Now, what is the bondage? Here the bondage is explained now. Bijam sansmriti bhumijasya tutamo dehatma dhirankuro ragapallavamambu karmadvapuskandho savashakika agranindriya samhatischa vishaya pushpani dukkham phalam nana karma samudbhavam bhavidam bhoktatra jiva khagaha. Such a beautiful picture of a beautiful tree is shown. See? At least for enjoying this, you must study Sanskrit deeply. Sanskrit is such a lovely language. It is so poetic and it is so beautiful. What is said here? The seed of this tree of samsara is ignorance. Bijam sansruti bhumi jasyatu tamaha. Ignorance about our identity is the seed of this whole samsara. See? Otherwise, where we are and where the great masters lived, is there any difference? The same time scale, the same political turmoil, the same war-torn world, the same various kind of natural calamities, the same problems of the body. It was all the same, no change. Yet their life was different and our life is different. What is the difference? Difference is they were living as consciousness through the body. We are living as the body on everybody. This is the only difference. Therefore, to love everyone was natural to the wise people. Like we love our right hand and left hand equally. We love our teeth and our tongue equally. When the tongue is bitten by the teeth, there is no enmity. Because although they are separate, there is no sense of separateness. In the same manner, for the wise one who has recognized that it is the same conscious principle which is pulsating through him, is also pulsating through the whole world, and that conscious principle he is, for him to love is not an act. And therefore, wise people love everyone and yet they don't fall in love. They rise in love. When we fall in love, our love is the product of ignorance. And when we rise in love, our love is an expression of wisdom. See? So where from the samsara the tree comes, bijam samsriti bhumi jasyatu tamaha. So the seed of the tree of samsara is ignorance. Then dehatma dhinkuraha. Then the identification with the body is the sprout. Like from the seed, the sprout comes. Thereafter, ragaha pallava mambo ambu karmatu apuhu. Then attachment to the things are the leaves. And karma is the water. And the trunk of the tree is nothing but the trunk of the body. And prana are the branches. Sense organs are the sub-branches. Objects are the flowers. Miseries born out of many karma are the fruits. And Jiva, the bird who is perching on this tree, is called as the Jiva. This is how the samsara vriksha is described. So the whole world begins the moment there is body identification. After death, whether we put garlands or we put a garland of sleepers, it makes no difference. One example I'll give you. There was one lady in Bombay, it happened. And her mother-in-law was really the most crooked and a terrible lady. And she lived not for a day or two, but she lived for full 100 years. And this daughter-in-law has taken care of the mother-in-law for 60 plus solid years. And the mother-in-law will be such a cruel one. When she gives food, she will throw away. And yet the daughter-in-law, she said, no, I have to serve. Swamiji told, we have to serve elders. No comment. She has never reacted anything. And one day she died. When she died on the most auspicious day according to Vaishnavas. Ashadi Ekadashi is considered to be the most auspicious day. If somebody dies on that day, he goes to Vaikuntha Devan. So that terrible, monstrous old lady, she died on that particular day. So this lady came to me, Swamiji, I got a question. So what is the question? You know how my mother-in-law was? I said, yes, I know. Do you know she died on that most auspicious day? How can it happen? I said, look here, you have studied Vedanta? Yes. Now tell me, when somebody dies, does he know that today is the auspicious day and I am dying? No. Unless something is included in your knowledge, it does not exist. See, friends. So these are our projection. Then who we are alive, we say, oh, how lucky that person was, he died on an auspicious day. You ask that person, he doesn't know what was the time and where he is dead. This is how all the problems begin. Only the moment we are identified with the gross body, then there is a sin and merit and good and bad. After the body is discarded, it makes no difference. See, friends, this is how the samsara tree is born and it grows up. Now, continuing further, अज्ञान मूलो यमनात्म बंधो नैसर्गिको अनादि अनंत ईरितः जन्माप्यय व्याधि जरादि दुख प्रवाह पातम जनयत्यमुष्य. It is said that this bondage born out of the identification with the not self due to ignorance, which is by default beginningless and never ending indeed. Now be very attentive. Identification with the body is natural. As when we stand in front of the mirror, our reflection is natural. We cannot do anything to that. Then don't mistake yourself to be the reflection. That's all. Getting identified with the body is natural. And without our getting identified with the body, we cannot conduct ourselves in life. But what we have to, as a spiritual seeker, practice in life, that let us not live as the body, but let us start functioning as consciousness through the body, and then you be identified, no problem. See, so the differences perceived because of the differences in the body should not be the criteria for our functioning in this world. Then alone we are getting out of this mess. So, it is this bondage which is responsible for the birth, death, disease, old age, and creates an unending series of miseries in life. Therefore, नास्त्रैर् न शस्त्रैर् अनिलेन वह्निना छेत्तुन्न शक्यो न च कर्म कोटिभिः विवेक विज्ञान महासिना विना धातु प्रसादेन सितेन मंजुना. Now this wrong identification with the body cannot be destroyed by any means, such as by the weapons you can't cut it, by the fire you can't burn it, and by the air you cannot dry it, and you cannot rectify it by more and more karma. There is only one way, viveka vijnana mahasina vina. Only by proper discrimination and understanding about your own identity alone, we can get out of this mess. There is no way out. See, friends. And it is so obvious. And for that, what is the technique? Dhatu prasadena sitena manjuna. The technique is we must be at peace with ourselves all the time. When we are at peace all the time with ourselves, wisdom bubbles out of our heart. Every day we get a new experience in meditation. It is not a mechanical thing. Every day the same meditation. Sit down, close your eyes and go to sleep. No. Every day it is a fresh one. Therefore, no meditation is ever repeated in life. Infinite it is, it cannot be repeated. Therefore, dhatu prasadena sitina manjuna, by the pure mind and clarity of our understanding, we will be able to get out of this commotion that we have created. This is what is the bondage. So what is the bondage now? Bondage is only identification with the body and thereafter living as the body, for the body, on everybody. This is the only bondage. So anything that we do which will lead to body disidentification is spiritual practice. Anything that will make our body identification stronger is not spiritual practice. See, if you have gone to Himalayas, there are many places when two rivers join together, that is considered as a holy place. Once in Rudraprayag, we were taking bath in the confluence of the two rivers, and one person asked me, Swamiji, why this is called as a holy place? I said, look here, this side Alaknanda is coming, this side Mandakini is coming. When these two rivers come together, Mandakini river gives up her name and form and merges in Alaknanda. Thereafter the river is called as Alaknanda. So wherever name and form is discarded, that is a holy place. Similarly, in Devaprayag, one side Alaknanda comes, other side Bhagirathi comes. Both of them give up their name and form. From there, it is called as Ganges. Ganges are not in the, Gangotri, no. From there, it is Bhagirathi river. But when these two rivers come together and both of them give up their name and form, where name and form is discarded, the truth is revealed. It is for this purpose, in Sannyasa Diksha, name and form is changed. See, earlier name may be anything, now the name is changed. Form may be anything, the form is changed. And thus our old identity as the body is discarded. That is what is the meaning of spiritual practice, freedom from the bondage. Remaining we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.